Hey everybody! I decided to go live as I do some hand painted lettering on my own pickup in my garage. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. I don't want to do a whole bunch of intro and blah blah blah. My main intention in doing this is just to show you some of what I do on my own stuff on my own time. And so anyway, if you hear my kids or my wife or other things like that, dogs barking, neighbor kids, it's real life. That's what's happening. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you a little bit about what I'm working on. It is the tailgate of Curtis Lowe. I have my pattern that I've already scribed on there with some water-soluble pencil. I'm using Alpha enamel paints. Got my brush here. I use Mack brushes, and we're just gonna go to town. You'll notice inside the bed here, I started working on the wood bed inside the truck, and hoping to kind of have that done here within the next week or two, hopefully. But I got a show coming up and I'd like to have that done. And if you'll notice, what I'm gonna be painting today on my tailgate is also what's on our new shirts. So wanted to show that to you too. Again, not trying to make this a commercial or anything like that, but if you guys are interested in Curtis Lowe t-shirts, we have those coming out real soon. There's the back of it, just like the stickers, and Curtis Lowe on the front chest. So anyway, again, enough talk. We're gonna do something that's basically me just painting. I'm not gonna give you a whole lot of dialogue along the way, just with that intention of, let's just do this. So let me spin the camera around. I'm already paletted up. Let's go. There we go. Get my camera set so you guys can watch as I work. You'll notice I have a white outline for the letters themselves, and I have a black outline for where I'm going to be putting the black drop shadow, and I'll be outlining between the orange and the black with a little bit of antique white. So Alpha6 enamels is what I'm painting with tonight. Let me grab my palette. This is what I paint on all the time. Hopefully you can see okay, hopefully you can hear okay. I just use old shiny magazine, and got a couple cups with some reducer in there. Keep a couple of paper towels handy and ready. And I have a maul stick. Those of you that follow pinstriping or hand painted lettering, you probably know what a maul stick is, but I'll pull it out just so you can see it. If it pops into the camera view once in a while, that's what this thing is. It's basically just a long dowel with a rubber ball on the end of it, and it's an armrest so that I can rest my hand somewhere if need be. But I don't use it all the time. Most of the time I'm just putting my hand right on the surface, but that's what's going on. So anyway, filming here tonight on a beautiful Sunday evening, and I would have done this video outdoors, but I realized as I started setting up out there that the wind was blowing so strong that you guys probably only would have heard, and that's really, really annoying. You don't want to hear that. So I thought, oh, let's just back the truck into the garage, and even though the light's not as good. The surface of my tailgate is a little bit on the rough side, and just like anything, you don't really know how thick or thin to make your paint until you just jump in and get started with it. Start noticing how your coverage is, and you make adjustments on the fly. Just like Bob Ross used to say. I grew up watching Bob Ross with my mom on TV, actually. So if I talk too much while I'm painting, you'll have to forgive me. But Bob Ross used to say there's no such thing as mistakes when you're doing art for yourself. It's only happy little accidents, and I love that kind of motto, happy little accidents, because we'll just turn mistakes into something that is part of the design, and that's what true art is, right? Hopefully you can see all right. I'm trying not to be in the shadow. I'm going to try and have longer, smoother strokes. Just have to get the consistency of my paint just right. There we go. starting to flow a little bit better now. I tell people all the time, I am not a professional. I'm only a student of this stuff, learning as I go. And I can tell that my arm position is a little bit uncomfortable where I'm sitting right now. So I may have to move the stool that I'm on, just kind of on a 5-gallon bucket. Got a little hair in. You know what? I'm going to bring another bucket in right next to me. It has a stand. Oh. It's going to help me a lot. Many people find watching painting really relaxing. I hope you do. Hopefully you find this relaxing and enjoyable and not boring. But hey, there we go. That's the position I wanted. Now we can really cruise. This is the kind of stuff that I admire from years and years of traditional hand-painted lettering being on semi-trucks and pickup trucks, and sign painting was done hundreds and hundreds of years, and it was one of those deals that was passed down from master to apprentice, and I really admire that style of artwork, and that's what inspired me to want to learn myself. I just started watching YouTube videos and learning from my mom, who's a professional artist, and trying to pick up tips and books and things like that along the way. So again, I'm not a teacher, but if I can inspire other people to just try new things, and if I can share the things that I love and that I'm passionate about with you, then mission accomplished. When I was driving semi, I was constantly on the lookout for hand-painted lettering and pinstriping all the time. I'm going to touch this line up a little bit. And so whenever I'd be at the truck stop or something like that and I would spot hand-painted lettering, I was either snapping a photo of it while the driver was, not paying attention to watching me, or if he was sleeping or something like that. But if I got the opportunity to talk to whoever was driving that truck that had the hand-painted lettering on it, it was usually a pretty cool story that went along with it. And for me, if the paint looked more faded and aged, like it'd been on there 30 years out in the sun and it had stories to tell, I loved it all the more. I appreciated it even more. And if I could ask stories of the driver, or the truck's owner, hey, who painted that? There was usually a story about, it was this old timer, and he's not around anymore, or he's in his 70s, and he'll still do it, and he's so fast, or he's so accurate. All he had to do was tape a line, and he was off to the races just hand painting. And there's a tradition that goes along with that stuff that I just love. I think it's so cool. And so I might use some tools. Let me palette. I'm paletting off camera here, so if you don't see what my brush is doing all the time, that's what I'm doing right below you. It's just picking up fresh paint and pulling the paint to the tip of my brush out here. So that's what I'm doing off camera, just sort of pulling more paint off the magazine and dabbing into my reducer to help it flow, so that we get long, smooth, straight strokes. That's what we want. We don't want dabbing at it. We want long, smooth strokes. There we go. I forget even what I was talking about. I'm talking too much. So if I get too chatty, go ahead and mute me. But I talk as if you're standing next to me and we're at a truck show. So If you dig it, cool. And if not, that's okay too. And there might not be anybody watching right now, and that's fine. Maybe you'll watch later. I appreciate so many people on YouTube and on Instagram that follow my work, that really seem to enjoy it, and they let me know. I want to let you know that I spend so much of my time with my I would call it 4 different jobs, but my jobs and my hobbies all kind of blur together into my interests and things that I love and that I'm passionate about. Plus spending time with my family and all the busyness of life that I purposely guard my time so that I don't overdo it on social media. At least I try. We all struggle with that, I'm sure. So that's a big part of the reason that I don't interact with the comment section here on YouTube, is because I already interact with so many things happening on Instagram that I've decided that that is the platform for me, as of right now anyway. That could change someday, but I chose one platform primarily, and YouTube. I'll get on there and I will post things, but I don't go back and read the comments and then chat back with you and things like that. I try and say in every one of my videos, if you want to interact with me directly, you'll find me at Instagram. And the intention there is not to say, I don't care about you, I don't care what you think, nothing like that at all. My intention is to keep my interactions and my comments on one platform for my sake and my family's sake and my sanity and all those things. So anyway, hopefully that helps maybe shed a little light on if you have commented to me before on YouTube and you wonder why I don't write back. It's not because I don't care, it's because I need to guard my time. Anyway, I'm not trying to talk about myself the whole time I'm painting here. This font that I'm painting was something that my youngest son Noah came up with when we were designing the t-shirts. And he didn't 100% design it from scratch. I mean, he found it, but then he widened certain places, he added a drop shadow, and then we widened the drop shadow until we got it just exactly how we wanted to make it look, because we knew it was going to be on t-shirts and stickers. And so this is my way of kind of branding the truck with my own look. And this is the father-son project. If any of you don't know what this truck is, I'll give you the quick version, and you can go to the playlist. Sorry, I'm kind of kneeling here, so you can go to the playlist, and you can watch this pickup truck being built. It's the 1979 Ford F-150 that my 4 sons and my dad, we all kind of pitched in at different times during the last 9 months, and we body swapped this thing onto a 2003 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor, and it is my daily driver right now, and love this truck. It's something that I've wanted to do for quite a while, because I've always loved cop cars and I've always loved trucks from the 70s. And when I saw other people here on YouTube that were doing similar body swaps and body drops, because we dropped this thing 7 inches when we did it, we dropped the entire cab and box down 7 inches onto the chassis and the floor of the Crown Victoria. So it's all Crown Victoria wiring and brakes and engine, transmission, 100%. So sorry if I'm bumping here a little bit. again, just to show you what I'm doing off camera, just piloting my brush. I'm gonna jump behind the camera, make sure that everything's staying in focus. Yeah, all right. We were able to do the entire body swap ourselves at a shop that we rent from my good friend and a mentor of mine. He's my employer at my day job. His name is Brett Hansen. And the shop is not too far away from home, and so we were able to get so many of the tools and equipment and things that we needed, including a hoist and heat in the shop and things like that, that were just such a huge blessing, and we couldn't do it without having the proper tools and equipment and advice and things like that. So it was so much fun, and I want to be able to do more projects like that in the future. So I've known for quite a while that I wanted to put some hand-painted lettering on the back of this truck, and there's a show coming up next weekend. Now is a great opportunity. I tried to actually go live on a video last night. So my wife and I were at the Go for 50 late model races, and thought, man, it'd be awesome if we could go live at the races. But unfortunately, when we got there, there's such a remote location where the racetrack is at that we didn't have good cell coverage out there, and it wouldn't let me. I was even trying to post, oops, almost dropped my brush. I was even trying to post throughout the evening, and I didn't even have a good enough signal to do that hardly. So kind of frustrating, but you know, it can sometimes be a blessing in disguise when you just kind of have to say, I'm gonna leave my phone alone. Might take a couple of photos. Otherwise, I'm just gonna enjoy a date night with my wife. And that's exactly what we did. It's very necessary. So, you'll notice I'm just sort of using my left hand as a rest and not using my maul stick. It's certainly a personal preference thing. There's no rules to sign painting and hand painted lettering. It's an art form. So somebody starts saying that there's rules to an art form, I'll disagree and say, no, there's styles and there's preferences and there's traditions. You can't call it a rule. So I will use that maul stick sometimes if I'm in a difficult position and I can't rest my arm like I want to, but using a maul stick and a balance isn't something that's done in freehand pinstriping, and so I'm not used to using it much, and I don't rely on it a whole lot. And the times that I have used it, it's almost kind of cumbersome, and I end up sometimes making mistakes. It certainly slows me down, so I just go, no thanks. So I was talking about Instagram here a minute ago, and I think I may also go live on Instagram this evening, just because I haven't done that in quite a while either. And it used to be something I would do really consistently every Sunday afternoon or evening, was go live on Instagram with some artwork stuff, whether I was doing pencil drawings or pinstriping or whatever. It was just sort of a Sunday afternoon thing. In fact, because I'm a Christian, my Sundays are spent going to church with my family in the morning, and it's a day of rest, the way that we are commanded to in Scripture. And so I love to spend my free time on Sundays just doing things that I really enjoy. Doesn't mean that I get super, legalistic about it and make sure other people are doing things that way or whatever. I try not to be that way, but for me, if it's something that I enjoy and brings me some satisfaction and some enjoyment along the way, then I will do that. And artwork is a form of worship because we're glorifying God and making things beautiful. So. All right, awesome. So that's layer number one. I'm gonna go back over it after it. I could even go back over some of this again. It's had enough time to tack up, and I'll do a second coat just because I can see some of the brown paint of the tailgate showing through, and I really want this to be bold and stand out. So I will go over it a second time, but I'm going to also show you something. Let me move the camera here a little bit. I'm going to be also doing the glove box on the truck. That's the glove box door, I should say, on the interior of the truck, and I'll maybe do that one on Instagram Live. But that's our start for tonight. I'm going to continue with the black outline, and then after the black is dried and I've done a second coat on the orange, I'm going to outline it in white. Not super stark white. It'll probably be kind of an antiqued white. I'll probably mix some ivory and things like that. So anybody that's curious, I use Alpha Enamel, Alpha6 Corporation. I use Mack brushes. And yeah, that's the setup that I'm working with. Pretty simple, old rat rod stuff, but that's where I'm gonna maybe call it for tonight. Let me spin back around, say thank you again for coming along, and I truly appreciate each one of you following the channel and supporting what we're doing. Again, if you guys are interested in Curtis Lowe merch and t-shirts, you can find that over at goshineon.com, and it's all one word. You can find lots of other things as well. So anyway, check out that website. That's Evan Steger. He's a good friend of mine. He runs a polishing company, and you can find some of the best polishing stuff for your semi-trucks, motorcycles, things like that over there as well. So anyway, thanks again everybody for coming along, and I will keep you posted on the progress that I'm making on doing the bed. I still need to get my fenders fixed and welded in and stuff like that. So lots to go yet, but I'm still driving this thing daily, really enjoying it. And thanks for coming along as we did some hand painted lettering tonight, and I'll show you the finished product. Don't worry. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Lord's Day, and peace and grease. I'll see you again soon.